What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog. Got another sweet Brawl list for you here. In Standard, we're going to be taking a look at Kykar, Wind's Fury. Kykar is one of those cards that seems like it's pretty interesting, but I just haven't really played around with it too much, either for Constructed or Brawl or anything like that. So I decided to give it a try in Brawl and kind of played around with it and decided on kind of a Jeskai Flyers list, since there's so many good Flyers in Jeskai colors and lots of good spells to complement it. So Kykar, to review, is a 1 blue, red, and white for a 3/3 flying legendary bird wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying, and you can sack any spirit to add red to your mana pool. So we're not probably using the sacrifice too much, but there's times when it could come in handy, so it's a nice little option to have with some of our spells. So we're just going to go over the list real quick, and we'll jump into a couple matches so we can see how the deck does. So Fairy Godmother here is our first flyer. It's a 1/1 for 1. But it's also an adventure, so we can cast it for 2 mana at sorcery speed to give one of our creatures +2/+1 and flying. Of course, every single creature already has flying, but just be able to get the kind of a prowess trigger for Kykar and any of our other creatures on board, and give that creature that's already out and attacking a +2 power boost is sweet, and then just 1 mana be able to play a 1/1 flyer as well to either follow it up with or to do that like on, say, turn 1. So that's a great option here. Fight is 1, gives our creatures indestructible. We only have 1 human in the entire deck, but still being able to instant speed, give even a single creature indestructible and +1/+1 is fantastic, and just another cheap way to trigger adding spirits or any of other prowessy type effects. God's Willing, kind of the same thing. Target creature gains protection from color of our choice and Scribe. Healer's Hawk here is, of course, automatic inclusion, flying lifelink, Light of Hope. Any of these sort of modal type cards that give you options are fantastic in the singleton environment. So Light of Hope lets us gain life, destroy an enchantment, or put a +1/+1 counter on target creature at instant speed for a single mana. Opt, of course, is auto include as well. Let's look at Pteramander. It's a 1/1 flyer for 1, and also can adapt depending on how many instant and sorceries are in our graveyard, and basically become a 5/5 flyer for 1 mana. It's pretty fantastic. Spectral Sailor, of course, 1/1 flyer, played at flash speed, draw cards in the late game, and then Stern Dismissal and Unsummon are kind of some tempo plays for us to bounce our opponent's creatures. Stern Dismissal, of course, only targets our opponents, but also targets enchantments as well. And Unsummon lets us protect our own creatures, so if we want to bounce our vulnerable creatures from a removal, we can do that as well. Hushbringer is pretty fantastic. I think we only have 1 other creature that is affected by this. It's 1/2 flying Lifelinger, of course, and the creatures entering or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. So it works great against things like Corvold or Elementals, any of that type of shenanigans. And then Phalanx Tactics, give our creature +2/+1, and then all of our other creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. So it's a great way to kind of close out the game, especially at 2 mana instant speed. It's fantastic with even a couple spirit tokens, a couple other flyers. You can just punch through for a ton of damage. Rally of Wings, same thing. We untap all of our creatures, and then our creatures with flying get +2/+2. Every single creature in here has flying, so pump up the team at 2 mana instant speed. Another way to close out games. Some more interaction here with Callous Dismissal. So we're not really too focused on actual hard removal, like the red spells like Scorching Dragonfire, Lava Coil, things like that. Really just the flexibility of these bounce spells to just tempo our opponent. And there isn't really too much flying that I've seen in Brawl, at least not when I've played this deck in testing. So just being able to bounce anything that's giving you trouble, or if they do happen to drop a flyer, you can just bounce that. And then Callous Dismissal, for example, gives you an amass token as well, so that's pretty fantastic. Keep Safe and Lazotep Plating are additional ways to protect your creatures. Keep Safe, of course, lets you draw a card. And Lazotep Plating gives all of your permanents hexproof, including yourself, and lets you amass a token as well. Night Veil Sprite, 1/2 flyer. When it attacks, surveils 1, so nice little bit of card selection to kind of see what your next draw might be. Tail's End works fantastic here in Brawl because you can counter your opponent's commander. There's also plenty of relevant activated and triggered abilities that you might want to counter as well. Depose Deploy is another way to kind of tempo your opponent by tapping down one of their creatures. You can either tap it down before combat on your turn, so you can make sure you get through for damage, or you can save it for your opponent's turn and tap it before combat so they can't attack with it, and then you can hopefully hit them back for lethal on the following turn. Or if you just need to add a couple more bodies to the board, you can deploy to make a couple 1/1 Thopters with flying and then gain some life. Skycast Sovereign, of course, fantastic in a flyers list. It's a 1/1 flyer that gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control flying, and for 4 mana you get additional 1/1 flyers as well. Lightning Stormkin, nice flying haste creature at 2 mana. Mischievous Chimera is another flying creature for 2 mana. However, whenever we cast a spell during our opponent's turn, it's only the first spell. You do its 1 damage to your opponent, and then you get to scry 1. So the 1 damage isn't too critical, but being able to scry is pretty fantastic, especially in these sort of a spell-based lists, just to guarantee, because you want a certain amount of mana, and once you get there, you don't really want to keep drawing into more lands. You want to make sure you hit your spells, and sometimes even creatures, but mostly if you get a couple creatures on board, that's really all you need, and you're just kind of digging for spells to close out the game. Sprite Dragon, of course, is a automatic conclusion as well. 1/1 flying haste, and every non-creature spell you cast, you get a +1 counter on it. Justice Strike, great scalable removal. Instant speed, creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. Arnveil's Tactician, the way to kind of tempo our opponent, being able to instant speed Dizzying Swoop to tap 2 creatures on our opponent's side. And then having it come down as a 2/3 flyer for 3 mana is fantastic. So having these adventure spells is amazing with Kykar, because you have the option to get the instant or sorcery spell to get the spirit token, and then being able to play flyer, following up with a flying creature as well. Unbreakable Formation, same thing as kind of the Rally of Wings and Phalanx Tactics, only it also protects our creatures from damage. So either sweepers or just being able to swing into your opponent and not caring if they block or not, because your creatures are indestructible and vigilant. And Brazen Borrower, of course, is a must include. Bounce your opponent's non-land permanent, and then play it down flash speed as a 3/1 flyer. Winged Words, of course, for some card draw. Burn Bright is kind of our final anthem effect, that instant speed for 3 mana. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. So obviously not as good as some of our other spells, but hey, 3 mana isn't too much to ask, especially in a Brawl environment. And just having those extra ways to pump up the team with your flyers and just close out the game, it is absolutely worth it. Empyrean Eagle, kind of the same thing, a 2/3 flyer. Of course, all of your other flying creatures get +1/+1. Royal Scions works great in the style deck as well. 5 loyalty, 3 mana Planeswalker, +1, draw and discard. Probably mostly going to be using just to give our creatures +2/+0 for strike and trample, and just trying to be as aggressive as possible with it. And if of course the Royal Scions does stick around, that -8 could just be game ending as well. And Wee Dragonauts here for 3 mana, 1/3 flyer. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So if you're able to change just a couple of spells together, especially like your Phalanx Tactics and things like that, you can just do a ton of damage here in the air, and you can close out games very, very quickly. And Vadrok, of course, Rodon, Titan of Winged Fury, 3/3 flying first strike. And if you mutate, you get to cast one of your non-creature spells for 3 mana or less without paying its mana cost. That's in your graveyard, so you can get your Royal Scions back, or any of your pump spells, Burn Brights, Phalanx Tactics, Rally of Wings, and get those back for free. And another way to kind of close out games. I also have a Dungeon Geists, it's a 3/3 flyer for 4. Taps a creature on your opponent's side, and that creature doesn't untap as long as Dungeon Geists is on the battlefield. So just having these nice little threats like this, where your opponent might want to kill like a Dragonauts or a Skycat Sovereign, but they also want to untap their creature, so they might target the Dungeon Geist instead. So just giving them really powerful threats they have to worry about turn after turn. Mythos of Vadrok is kind of a nice one-sided board wipe. Wasn't really too sure when I first included this in here, but this actually put in work for me. I don't know if it's just the particular matchups I've been getting, but yeah, 4 mana, deal 5 damage, divide as you choose among creatures and planeswalkers. And if you use Jeskai colors, then those creatures can't attack or block, and their activated abilities can't be activated. So if you don't necessarily need to kill your opponent's creatures, you just want to make sure they can't do anything for a couple turns, you can just do 1 damage to each, and then shut your opponent's board state down basically for an entire turn. But yeah, just the 5 damage, just being able to kill 2 creatures is mostly how I've been using it, and it's put in work for me, so I think it's pretty fantastic. Final here, Purphoros Intervention, nice scalable removal. And if you have been able to keep your opponent's board clear, or they're just kind of been slow to add creatures to the board, then Purphoros Intervention can also just come down as a X1 elemental with trample and haste, so another way to kind of close out games. But mostly we're just going to be looking to deal damage to a creature or planeswalker and just get rid of it. So going over the mana base here real quick, you do need lots of fixing, but you also want to be aggressive, and so having as many untapped lands as possible is kind of ideal, so we just have to be careful with our opening hands. So we've got 4 plains, 4 island, 3 mountains, since it's our kind of our splash color. And then each of the 3 of each of the dual lands, the Gain Life, the Scry, and the Shock land. And then of course we have the Triome, the Command Tower, and Fabled Passage. Alright, so that's basically the deck. Let's jump into some couple Brawl matches. so we can see how the deck performs. All right, where are we at? Brawl Hall. And it's sweet that they've given us Brawl for another about another month here. I think through July. Brawl continues to be the Brawl Hall continues to be free. Free to play anytime, so you don't just have to play Wednesdays. They really do need to make Brawl free anytime, all the time, and stop screwing around behind a paywall. Seems like the more play options people have, the more likely they are to keep coming back to Arena and keep playing any events that appeal to them. Okay, so the Hushbringer should be fantastic. It's pretty ridiculous that you can have a commander and a companion at the same time. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we do have the Tranquil Cove into Mountain just to get our Hushbringer down. And we'll kind of go from there. Then we'll be able to hold up Unsummon and Brazen Borrower. Of course, could be cautious here and just play the Temple and then hold up Unsummon for removal. Okay, they have the Cauldron Familiar. That's pretty silly. Let's just take a cautious. That's perfect. So we do want to make sure we have 4 lands here in our early game. Oh, we'll just pass turn. Could have played the Guide Mother, but we'll play it slower here. We can play a little bit smart, and if we can just get some creatures to stick, we can close out the game pretty quickly. So I think we can afford to be a little bit cautious. Drop the Command Tower, Hushbringer. Okay, so they have something at instant speed here in black. So it could be a Disfigure or I don't know what else is there in white or black. Okay. Or they're just in control mode. So don't really want to use the Unsummon on our Hushbringer, but we will. Okay, we can always bounce a token if we want. We'll get around the dying. They can't attack in because we've got 2 toughness. I think we'll just save it. No reason to... I think we'll just Guide Mother here just to gain some life. Continue to hold up Unsummon. I think the Hushbringer could be pretty key in this matchup, especially if they're going the Judith Sacrifice route. And they're getting close to Obosh territory. So we'll want to hold up the... oh, that's pretty nasty. Okay, so we can discard Mountain and I guess Unsummon. I want to keep our Rodon and Brazen Borrower. Skycat's pretty good. Guess we're doing that. And if they hit a 5th land here, they could just Obosh. So let's just hold on to our Brazen Borrower so we can Petty Theft. Wow, they curved out perfectly. Okay, they're going to Obosh. Let's let them go to combat. I think they're going to be doing some nasty stuff. Bounce you. Yeah, I think we'll just block the cat. Okay, find some food token that might be able to do something. So now we can tap their stuff down. Yeah, I think we'll go and drop the Guide Mother. And let's drop the Borrower too, just to pump up the Skycat and hit for 5. So they could just play their Obosh again, but then they're only attacking for, was it 2? Doubles the damage? Well, that's a token, so it's even. Actually, it's an even converted cost, so does not get the benefit of Obosh. So we're lacking spells here, but we do have some powerful creatures, so we can punch through. I'm assuming they're not playing too many sweepers. Okay, Judith comes down. Obviously not blocking the token. Well, with Hushbringer, they don't get the dies trigger, so maybe we should. Yeah, that's right. Does shut down the Judith trigger. So no Bastion, no Judith. And this Hushbringer's putting in work for us. So we do have an Unsummon. That's perfect. Let's go and drop Kykar, pump up the Skycat, and then we'll have Godzoin plus something else to cast next turn. They do have 3 men open, so it could just be a Murderous Rider or Murder or something. I mean, you could take out the Skycat, but the Hushbringer is kind of shutting you down pretty hard. Either way, we're going to be hitting 3 for some damage here. And then we'll have the protection next turn. So next turn we likely just mutate, get back Unsummon, and then bounce their Obosh. I'm assuming they'll play Obosh next turn. Alright, our opponent's thinking about it. Or they're just salty because they've got nothing going on. It's pretty sad that people feel the need to do that. If you're not having a good time, if you just feel like you're losing, just concede, move on to the next one. There's nothing to lose. Doesn't matter if you're in ranked, unranked, brawl. Just concede. There's no reason to just sit there and waste your time. Okay, so they obviously have nothing here, so they're just being slow and salty. So they can drop Obosh and hit for 4, but we're sitting pretty here at 25. They could be running Ritual of Sit, potentially, but we still have the Kykar at 4 mana that avoids that. Alright, they bedevil our Kykar. Sure. They chose to do that instead of playing Obosh. If you don't want to add to the board, that's fine with me. Let's see, we're at 3, 6, 7, so we're 2 points away. If we can get 2 more creatures down, or a pump spell. But of course, we're drawing the Gods Willing. I guess they don't have removal. And if they do, we'll just we'll just God's Willing here if they try anything. Thanks to this command tower, yeah, we'll bounce Judith. Why not? And if you play Obosh next turn, you're not doing anything, and then we'll just kill you. And now we actually have 9 damage coming through in the air. So yeah, no matter how you look at it. I wrapped it up against the Obosh Judith Brawl deck. I mean, you're already starting with a commander for free, and then you get a companion on top of that. It just seems kind of, I don't know, seems a little bit too much. Obviously, we won that one, but still. All right, up against Hello Gamer, playing Athreos. Alright, hand seems pretty solid, sweet. Each of our colors, we've got the Pteramander turn 1. The buff spell in hand. There are Orzhov, so we're going to have removal left and right, so let's see how that plays out. Let's crash in with our Pteramander. Next turn, just go for the Royal Scions. Yeah, don't care about that too much. Alright, so then we want to discard here. Let's just go for the buff. It's a little greedy holding on to the rally since we're a long ways from it, but we'll see. We'll see what we draw next turn. So they're gonna Soren's Thirst. It's a curious spell. Just play out the Rodon, nothing to mutate onto, and there's to slow roll it. Alright, let's go with a Rally. So we're a ways from getting value off of that. Found our 4th land, so there we go. Then we got the Kykar next turn. Opponent is curving out nicely here. Okay, not attacking. Let's go for the power toughness, or the first strike power boost. Down to 16. Go and drop Kykar. Our shield's down, but if we can untap with this, life is good. So you have to be careful with the Grim Dancer. So 2 toughness, we can deal with that here. So they got Menace. Hit for 6, sure.
I need a hand, Will.
Alright, so it's X1, deal twice damage to the Archon, get that off the board so we don't have to pay to attack. Make a 1/1. 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and give our Kykar, I guess.
There is no virtue.
Hit for 8. And just hold up Keep Safe and Tail's End here. If they want to take out our Scions, so be it. We're doing just fine here on board. We just need to keep that going for us. If they drop the 6th land, nope. Okay, lifelink. So they have hexproof. I think we're going to be targeting them, so yeah, that's fine. So we can chump block with the spirit token. There's a chance that we just draw into something.
This is what I trained for.
But yeah, Science is dead no matter what. They just attack all. And yeah, send everything at the Scions. No reason to block. If we draw a pump spell here, we can probably just win.
Shocked and shattered.
Nope. Fabled Passage. I guess we'll just grab a red source. Drop the Skycat and just hold up our protection spells. We'll just hit for 6 and keep the spirit token back to block the Child of Night. Get the lifelinker off the board. If they just go for Asterios, that'll be our best play here because we got the Tail's End.
I'll block them off.
Sure, make all your walls. Omen. Okay, so they're going to gain some life back. Unless they have a way to amass, then we are in good shape. We'll just block the 2/1. That's fine. And we're swinging for 9 here. They've got man. So they're gonna be gaining 6 life back next turn thanks to the amass. Let's go ahead and make a token. So now we're hitting for 7-10. It's going to be close. If they have removal, we do have the God's Willing, but they're going to be gaining 6 up to 7. Will that be enough? So We're taking 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 3 off from lethal. So no blocks. Get us down to 3. That's it. Swing all. Activate. Just to be sure. And we did it. That was a pretty close game there against the Athreos. We were lucky they weren't able to drop it. But even if they did, I think we still would have had that game. Alright, so I think that's going to wrap it up for me. I think that's a pretty fantastic demonstration of what the deck is all about. I've had a ton of success and a ton of fun with it. So yeah, if you're looking for kind of an aggressive slant on Brawl, some flyers, it's a nice creature-based deck, but also a nice mix of spells, so I definitely enjoy the kind of prowessy style. Still a little bit of room to maybe tweak it here and there, but I'm pretty happy with where it's at. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Alright, take care.